What's good, YouTube family? It's your boy S.Craft Blends back again with another barber tutorial, and today we're gonna hook up my man Mr. Will. Kicks are for us.
What's going on, guys? You gotta check out my shop. Kicks are for us. Based in Tampa. We got a couple locations. We got a website, got an Instagram. KICKZR for US. And that's our Instagram and also our website. Definitely Shannon is my go-to guy. I gotta do a month in advance to get to this guy, but yeah. Appreciate you guys checking us out and look at our shop when you get a chance.
This is where you get them $10,000 shoes at. $10,000 J's.
Alright, so I appreciate Mr. Will Mendez for coming through once again. He is one of my every week customers, and I really appreciate that. He always looks out for me. And today we're going to do a bald fade with our detachable clippers. And you will see that not only does he have very, very, very challenging hair to cut, and you'll see why in just a moment, but also it's just challenging to cut his hair. He's one of those guys that he is a businessman. He's always about his business, so he is always on the phone 24/7. But we started out with our 5-0 blade and created our first guideline. Then we came up, we skipped the 000 blade and went to the OA blade, about an inch. Then we skipped the 1 blade and went right into the 1A. So there again, 5-0, 0A, and now we're at our 1A right now. And then we're going to skip the 1.5 blade and we're going to go right into the number 2 blade. If you want to learn more about this particular technique of skipping the blade system, I have other videos that you can, I slow it down and give you some real detail on how to do that. But I found that this is a great way to create the kind of blends that you're looking for. So now we're just going to go ahead and jump right into that number 2, kind of floating it off of the ridge area. And of course you can still see the guidelines, and that's for a reason. Whenever we skip, we leave guidelines, and now we'll work our way back down using the blades that we skipped. So now I'm using the 1.5, tying in the 1A blade to the number 2, and then I'll skip down and hit that guideline right below it that you can see with the number 1 blade, and then we'll come and knock out the bottom line with the 000 blade. So we started with the 5-0 blade, skipped 1 guard, or 1 blade rather, to the next blade, which was 0A. Then we skipped the 1 blade and went to the 1A blade, and then we skipped the 1.5 blade and went to the number 2 blade. And then we started working our way down, hitting those guidelines with the blades that we skipped. Come on, somebody. So as you know, I like to get through the process really quick and lay a good foundation, so I'm not really worried about details at this time. I'm more worried about just laying a foundation and getting the hairs pretty much where we want them, and then we can come back in and just blend it all together. Looking from this angle, you can't really see how far that blend stretches down, but it actually stretches down to the bottom of the C-cup area, right there where the curve would begin. Now we're going to come in with that number 1A blade, and we're just touching up some of those spots that did not come out. But one of the challenges with his hair, like I said, his hair is very, very, very difficult to cut, and maybe that's why he pays me so good to cut his hair. However, if you look at his head, not only is his hair thicker, but it's also sparse as far as it's spread out, and there's some dark areas and some light areas, so it kind of looks patchy. So I'll come in and after cleaning up the bottom with my babyless trimmers and just balding that out, I'll come in with the shaver and shave the bottom, and it'll actually extend that fade even more. Once again, from this angle with the camera, you can't really see how low that blend is going, but whenever we look from the front, you can actually see you know, just the darkness of that blend that's going down. Right now it looks like a pretty high taper. However, it is not really that high, but it actually stretches out. He likes it tighter to the head and to stretch out. And I have a few customers that like that same style. So now we come in with the Babyliss shavers and we're just shaving up the bottom. If you notice, when I get around the line, I flick down, and then once I drop a little bit lower, I begin to go up against the grain. But I found if you flick down at the line, you're actually not getting as short, and it just ties that skin together. Now we're going to go through the same exact process. I did it on the back of the head as well, but just to save time, there again, we started with our first initial guideline 5-0, skipped the 000 blade and went to the OA blade, made a second panel. Then we skipped the 1 blade and went to the 1A blade and skipped a panel. And then now we're jumping right back into the 2, working our way down once again with the 1.5 blade. Then the one we skipped was the number 1 blade, so we're going to drop down with the number 1 blade right now, start working at that other guideline, and then we'll drop down to the very bottom guideline with the 000 blade, which there again we skipped in the beginning, and we'll just start tapping at that line. Now I'm not looking for perfection, I'm just looking to hurry up and get a foundation laid. Why? Because we can always come back in detail. Whenever you're on a clock, one of the ways to speed up the blend is to spend about 20 minutes just laying the foundation. The last 10, you can come in and do detail work. Just focus on the details. The quicker you can lay a foundation and then get to the detail work, that's when the magic happens. So we just did the same process that you've seen earlier. And sorry guys, I'm going so fast. You've seen a lot of this process before in my other videos, but I just wanted to drop some content for you guys and just give you an idea of what's happening here. So as you can see, I started doing clipper over comb, and I did it in a vertical angle, or actually horizontal rather, and I just didn't feel like I had the control that I wanted. So now I'm doing more of vertical strokes to just kind of lay the comb down, and now I'll come back with some horizontal strokes. And then now you guys know that I like to detail with my shears, using the point of my shears, just hitting the spots that are dark. And there again, because his hair is kind of sparse and it's patchy, there's bigger patches to really hit. So I'll sit there and work on that. And obviously we have a nice dark line that we need to hit with the thinning shears and kind of blend that together more. But he has a nice little dip right there that gives you that darker effect. So now I'm coming in with my clippers and just really trying to work on some of that detail work, trying to knock out some of those darker spots so it looks like it gives the illusion that it's blending better. You know, we can get all the hairs the same length as far as in the fade, but because of those dark spots, it's just going to look patchy no matter what I do. So that's why it's important that I go and tap those dark spots to give the illusion like it's blending better. So now, as you can see, his edge in the front, it drops down in the middle pretty significantly, and he shaves that area. So I just go in there and I clean it up to where he has it at, to give him the straightest line as possible. Some people it might be a little bit too high on, but I feel like it works for his haircut. We didn't want the whole Dracula thing happening, and some people like the Dracula look. He's not one of those people. He wants it as straight as possible, you know, to keep it as clean as possible. So right now, just cleaning that up. Now, because we're doing like a comb over with a hard part, you can see I'm not really making a significant line at this moment. I'm pushing all of those hairs down, and ultimately I'm just getting as close to that line lightly as possible to knock some of those hairs down that actually poke out. And then I'll come in with my Babyliss trimmer flipped over, and I'll create more of a defined line at this angle right here. See, that's still thin. We want to keep it thin. I can thicken it a little bit more with the razor and clean it up. But then I'll grab my shears and I'll work my way all the way around the head, just knocking out any loose hairs that I see. Come in with some old 245 color. Just add that enhancement on there just to make those lines look nice and sharp. I know there's plenty of haters, you know, but that's okay. Haters don't pay my bills. People that like color enhancement do, so I'm all for it. And as you can see, I'm going to come in and trim up the top. What I like to do is always start from the front and work my way to the back, the front middle, and I just cut the sections and I just grab it with my comb, move back a little bit, cut again. And now I'm keeping it the same length with my guidelines. Now watch, I'm going to curve my hand slightly and my fingers to tie it from the long end to the top to kind of blend towards the shorter side, because that's the area he combs it in, the direction. Now we're going to cross cut, and this is important. Without going through all the parting and all that special stuff, we just go through here and we just cut it like I did, and then we cross cut it to get out the little ridges and valleys and smooth that out. And then we'll go ahead and blow dry it. And I don't necessarily need it completely dry, because whenever he styles it, he uses gel, not clay or paste or powder. So now I'm pushing over the hair, and once again just cleaning up that part area. The more you can clean it up, the better it is. Coming in, I went ahead and threw some color enhancement on there, did his beard real quick, didn't put all that in the video just because of sake of time. Now I'm coming in, also hitting that hard part with the razor. Now putting some gel in there, you know, taking my time to style it for him, get it looking good, get the hairs laying in the right direction, and just smooth it out, you know. I feel like, you know, he's always happy with it. Obviously, if you look at the fade, because it was patchy, one of the tricks that I do for him that he really enjoys is I will actually add color enhancement to the fade as well. You got to be careful. Sometimes it does jack the fade up a little bit, but looking good. You know, it's always a good thing whenever your customer leaves the shop and gives you a shout out and they're happy about paying $120 for a cut. Come on, somebody. I'm happy about that. So now we're just, after I've applied some color and, you know, got them all lined up, hit them with the razor, now just come back in and hit any more little dark spots that I see, just trying to get it extra blurry, you know, just trying to do the best that I can. Some hair, you know, it's not always going to be the best. It's not going to fade as easy as others, but boom, showing my man. He seems pretty happy about it. Look at him, he's feeling himself.
Went from a zero to a hero.
He's laughing because he knew that was pretty corny. We all were laughing at him in the shop. So now that I, you know, just kind of hitting him up, making sure that I shave any little hairs. It's all about, you know, just making sure it's clean, man, precise, doing what you can. But anyways, he's happy. I hope you're happy. Hitting him with that cherry almond alcohol. Hey, if you have not subscribed, please do that. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. God bless you. Peace. I'll see you tomorrow. Boom.